Yachodanandana Vratadanandana Yamunatira Banachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayani Singadev, Jayani Singadev, Jayani Singadev, Jayani Singadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Ich mache mal mein Handy aus. Turn off the smartphone. Okay. Hare Krishna. Which language do we speak? Who does not understand German? Okay. Wer von euch versteht kein Englisch? Also, everybody understands English. Ja, gut. Sehr schön. So, wir lesen heute im Nektar der Unterweisung von Srila Rupa Goswami in der Übersetzung und mit Erläuterung von His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, den Text 4. Der Nektar der Unterweisung, das ist also ein Buch, welches this is a book which we also distribute on Sankirtan. It's a small book, and Srila Rupa Goswami originally only wrote 18 verses. So it's small, probably would fit, just the verses would fit on one A4 page or something, maybe two A4 pages. But Srila Prabhupada wrote extensive purports for each of these verses, where he expands on the philosophy of Krishna, the general philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So today we have text 4. Is it written down somewhere? Okay. Tadati pratigrinati guyam akyati pritchati punkte bojayate chaiva satvidam pritilakshanam tadati pratigrinati Tuyam akyati pritchati punkte bojayate chaiva satvidim pritilakshanam Tadati pratigrinati Guyam akyati pritchati Punkte pujayate chaiva Satvidam pritilakshanam. Word by word translation. Dadati gives charity. Pratigrinati accepts in return. Guyam confidential topics. Akyati explains. Pritchati inquires. Punkte eats. Pujayate feeds. Cha also. Eva certainly. Satvidam 6 kinds. Priti of love. Lakshanam the symptoms. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. So this is the verse by Srila Rupa Goswami. I'll start with a short summary of the purport, and then we'll start reading the purport. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada touches upon 4 subject matters. First of all, he explains these 6 symptoms, what he calls symptoms of love, in the exchange of devotees amongst each other. And this is the exchange of gifts. Gifts are being exchanged. Then there are confidential talks, revealing one's mind and listening as somebody reveals his mind. Then it's giving food, giving holy food, which is prasadam, and accepting holy food, prasadam. And this is, by Srila Rupa Goswami, is called the essence of activities in friendship, of friendly dealings, the essence of friendly dealings. Prabhupada goes into that. Then the second topic that Srila Prabhupada touches upon is that religion is the specific right of the human society. Human society, they have the prerogative to deal with religion. In any human society there's some type of religion. And the goal of human life consists in uninterrupted and unmotivated devotional service to the Lord. This is the second topic that Srila Prabhupada touches upon. Then the third topic is ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which was founded by Srila Prabhupada himself, gives the facilities for the 6 kinds of loving exchanges. Prabhupada is very proud of his International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Then number 4, the loving exchange amongst the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness takes place on 2 levels. Amongst practicing sadhakas, and in the community of friends of the ISKCON society. So, sadhaka, I want to shortly also touch upon this before I start reading the purport. In the devotional service, we have 3 levels of advancement. One level is called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Second is called Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And the third level is called Bhava and Prema Bhakti. So the lowest level is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana means following the rules and regulations as prescribed by the spiritual master and controlling one's activities. according to the instructions of the spiritual master. On this first level, there doesn't necessarily have to be a personal realization yet, but one has strong belief that God is everywhere, and especially one serves the deity of the Lord on the altar, sadhana bhakti, and this Vaidhi sadhana bhakti according to rules and regulations. And the second level, raganuga sadhana bhakti, same, controlling the senses in the service of the Lord, but is raganuga. It is with personal attachment to the rules and regulations. Then acting according to rules and regulations isn't an artificial attempt anymore, but it is done out of conviction and with joy and love for the service. And then third level, bhava and prema bhakti means the full self-realization. After performing the sadhana bhakti, full self-realization and encounter with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called bhava and prema bhakti. So the sadhana bhakti that we are performing, going to the temple, making flower garlands for the Lord, cooking for the Lord, serving the deities, and so on, will all lead to full self-realization if one follows the process properly. So I now start reading Srila Prabhupada's purport. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. There are 6 kinds of activities. First, giving charity to the devotees. Second, accepting from the devotees whatever they may offer in return. 3, opening one's mind to the devotees. 4, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord. 5, honoring prasad or spiritual food given by the devotees. And 6, feeding the devotees with prasada. An experienced devotee explains and an inexperienced devotee learns from him. This is Guyam Akyati Pritchati. When a devotee distributes prasada, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept this prasada as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasad, and be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called Bhunkte Bhojayate Chaiva. Even in ordinary social activities, these 6 types of dealings between 2 loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel, and over the feast he openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is dealings of priti or love and intimate dealings, these 6 activities are executed. In the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with the devotees, Sangatyagat Sato Vritte. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. This society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with the give and take policy, this society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasada. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nonetheless come and take whatever little prasada we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna-conscious activities. The life of the Krishna-conscious society is nourished by these 6 types of loving exchange among the members. Therefore, people must be given the chance to associate with the devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the 6 ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.62 it is stated, Sangat Sanjayati Kama. One's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. It is often said that a man is known by his company, and if an ordinary man associates with devotees, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and it is already developed to some extent when the living entity takes a human body. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 2207, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satyaka Punai Shravanadi Sudha Chitte Karaye Udai. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, that love naturally awakens. Since Krishna consciousness is inherent in every living entity, everyone should be given a chance to hear about Krishna. Simply by hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, one's heart is directly purified and one's original Krishna consciousness is immediately awakened. Krishna consciousness is not artificially imposed upon the heart, it is already there. When one chants the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the heart is cleansed of all mundane contamination. In the first stanza of his Sri Shikshastaka, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam Bhavamaha Davakni Nirvapanam Shreya Karava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyapadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivadanam Pratipadam Punam Ritasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust, accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Not only is the chanter of the Mahamantra purified, but the heart of anyone who happens to hear the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is also cleansed. Even the souls embodied in lower animals, insects, trees, and other species of life also become purified and prepared to become fully Krishna conscious simply by hearing the transcendental vibration. This was explained by Thakur Haridas when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from him how living entities lower than human beings can be delivered from material bondage. Haridas Thakur said that the chanting of the holy names is so powerful that even if one chants in the remotest parts of the jungle, the trees and animals will advance in Krishna consciousness simply by hearing the vibration. This was actually proved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when he passed through the forest of Jharikanda. At that time, the tigers, snakes, deer, and all other animals abandoned their natural animosity and began chanting and dancing in Sankirtan. Of course, we cannot imitate the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we should follow in his footsteps. We are not powerful enough to enchant the lower animals such as tigers, snakes, cats and dogs, or entice them to dance, but by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we can actually convert many people throughout the world to Krishna consciousness. Contributing or distributing the holy name of the Lord is a sublime example of contributing or giving charity, the Dadati principle. By the same token, one must also follow the Pratigrinati principle and be willing and ready to receive the transcendental gift. One should inquire about the Krishna consciousness movement and open his mind in order to understand the situation of this material world. Thus, the Guyam Akyati Prichati principles can be served. The members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness invite the Society's members and supporters to dine with them when they hold love feasts in all the branches every Sunday. Many interested people come to honor prasad, and whenever possible they invite members of the Society to their homes and feed them sumptuously with prasada. In this way, both the members of the Society and the general public are benefited. People should give up the company of so-called yogis, jnanis, karmis, and philanthropists because their association can benefit no one. If one really wants to attain the goal of human life, he should associate with devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement, because it is the only movement that teaches one how to develop love of God. Religion is the special function of human society, and it constitutes the distinction between human society and animal society. Animal society has no church, mosque, or religious system. In all parts of the world, however downtrodden human society may be, there is some system of religion. Even tribal aborigines in the jungles also have a system of religion. When a religious system develops and turns into love of God, it is successful. As stated in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai Pum Samparo Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshari Aituki Apatiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. The supreme occupation, Dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. If the members of human society actually want peace of mind, tranquility, and friendly relations between men and between nations, they must follow the Krishna-conscious system of religion by which they can develop their dormant love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as people do so, their minds will immediately be filled with peace and tranquility. In this regard, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur warns all devotees engaged in broadcasting the Krishna conscious movement not to speak to the impersonalists or Mayavadis who are always determined to oppose such theistic movements. The world is full of Mayavadis and atheists, and the political parties of the world take advantage of Mayavada and other atheistic philosophies to promote materialism. Sometimes they even back a strong party to oppose the Krishna consciousness movement. The Mayavadis and other atheists do not want the Krishna consciousness movement to develop because it educates people in God consciousness. Such is the policy of the atheists. There is no benefit in feeding a snake milk and bananas because the snake will never be satisfied. On the contrary, by taking milk and bananas, the snake simply becomes more poisonous. Kevalam vishavardhanam. If a snake is given milk to drink, its poison simply increases. For a similar reason, we should not disclose our minds or to the serpent Mayavadis and Karmis, such disclosures will never help. It is best to completely avoid associating with them and never ask them about anything confidential, because they cannot give good advice. Nor should we extend invitations to Mayavadis and atheists or accept their invitations, for by such intimate intermingling we may become affected by their atheistic mentality. Sangat sanjayati karma. It is the negative injunction of this verse that we should refrain from giving anything to or accepting anything from Mayavadis and atheists. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also warned, Vishaya anna bhakaile dushta hayamana. When one eats food prepared by worldly people, one's mind becomes wicked. Unless one is very advanced, he is unable to utilize everyone's contribution to further the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, on principle, one should not accept charity from the Mayavadis or atheists. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forbidden devotees to associate even with ordinary men who are too addicted to material sense gratification. The conclusion is that we should always keep company with devotees, observe the regulative devotional principles, follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, and in full obedience carry out the orders of the spiritual master. In this way, we shall be able to develop our devotional service in dormant Krishna consciousness. The devotee who is neither a neophyte nor a Mahabhagavata, a greatly advanced devotee, but is within the middle status of devotional service, is expected to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, make friends with the devotees, show favor to the ignorant, and reject the jealous and demoniac. In this verse there is brief mention of the process of making loving transactions with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and making friends with the devotees. According to the Dadati principle, an advanced devotee is supposed to spend at least 50% of his income on the service of the Lord and his devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami has set such an example in his life. When he decided to retire, he distributed 50% of his life's earnings to Krishna service and 25% to his relatives, and kept 25% for personal emergencies. This example should be followed by all devotees. Whatever one's income, 50% should be spent on behalf of Krishna and his devotees, and this will fulfill the demands of Dadati. In the next verse, Srila Rupa Goswami informs us what kind of Vaishnava should be selected as a friend and how Vaishnavas should be served. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pastatyade Satare. Have any questions on this? Something you be that rose your attention? Something you maybe some remarks that you wouldn't share? Or did you agree with everything? Or? Yeah, but please. What? Reveal, okay. Yes, revealing the minds. There are actually many impediments to revealing one's mind. I made a list. I have a list here. Impediments to revealing one's mind. Why people sometimes, there's a general mistrust in human society. You don't want to talk to just anybody. And there's a list of impediments to opening one's heart. You don't just tell anybody about your complete life and about your hobbies. And so I have a list here. There could be, for example, one could be afraid of being judged. You had told me that you have this type of problem. You were kicked out of the office, and you tell me I was kicked out of the office. People could think bad of you, or they could tell others, see, he was kicked out of the office because he's such a nut. And this is one. You have ever had such experience? You don't want to tell everybody about your bad luck you once had? Can happen. Then also, some people are traumatized by their bad experience. They are instead of talking to other people, they are quiet about their bad experiences, and they develop a trauma. They keep it inside, but doesn't come out. So this can cause permanent damage to a person's personality, actually. Then we could also have a lack of faith because we were hurt by some people. When we told other people what happened to us, they misused our faith, so we have lack of faith because we were hurt ourselves. Then we could have a low self-esteem, because well, I'm such a nut anyway. Why should I tell anybody? I just better keep quiet. I'm such a useless person. Then also impediment of telling others. I could just not know how to express my problems properly. Could just not know. Or what we have to do in our Krishna consciousness movement, some people very easily make contacts with devotees because they feel familiar with the atmosphere. For example, Indians or Hindus generally feel very familiar with the atmosphere in a Krishna temple. Also, we have many immigrants from Russia and Ukraine nowadays, from people from Slavic cultures. They feel very familiar with what is being done with the culture, bowing down, showing respect, and decorating the altar. Feel very familiar with it. One explanation why we have so many Russian-speaking devotees. Not so much here, though. Here, anybody from Russian, East European background? But in other temples we do. And whereas in many temples there are very few Europeans coming, because in modern Germany, for example, bowing down to someone is not fashionable. That was past century. And the rituals, all the rituals, Germans don't like it. Then also foreigners, if they see there's so many foreigners there, well, let the foreigners go there. We don't. We go somewhere else. You're from Germany. Some of you maybe you have noticed. Here in Simhachalam, it's somewhat different. And so there is a lack. Many times, what hinders us from revealing our heart is a lack of knowledge on how to communicate. So Srila Rupa Goswami says here that one of the 6 principles of devotional service, or loving exchange amongst devotees, is revealing one's heart and one's mind. And now that doesn't mean we have to tell a person just everything that we did or that happened, or it doesn't mean it. But mainly it means focusing on Krishna consciousness. Because these 6 loving exchanges, as Srila Prabhupada explained before, are also shared amongst materialists. And Prabhupada gives the example of businessmen. When they meet, they have, maybe some of you worked in an office. You go out for lunch with your colleagues? Somebody has experience? Yeah, I worked in the office for 23 years. So you go out with colleagues for lunch, and during lunch you talk and like this. Huh? So and then business meetings. In my company was export company, so many times we had foreigners coming. So the kitchen would cook the meals. If you would have guests from India, it would all be vegetarian. If we had guests from Muslim countries, certain types of food were avoided. But it was very important to have a business lunch. It was kind of the most important thing. And during the business lunch, you reveal your minds. You have your mouth full of tasty food. So then everybody that raises the mood are happy, and then people are like while chewing, and they reveal their minds. It becomes easier. And in businesses also, they which caste do you belong to, which Gotra, and the Gotras sometimes have very beautiful names, Gautama Gotra, for example, or this is very Brahminical. They claim that they all descend from Gautama Muni, who is a very old ancient sage. But in the West, we devotees, we do not have such Gotras. We don't have. In Germany, all Western Europe, even Eastern Europe, we don't have a certain name of our descendants, except that somebody comes from an aristocratic family. You'll say we are the Bourbons, or we are the certain type of aristocrats. But except for in aristocratic families, there is no family lineage being traced in the West. Most people don't even know their ancestry in the West. It is forgotten. So we have the nuclear family most of the time. We've had it for many decades. And so when we come to India as Hare Krishna devotees and go to an astrologer or into a temple and we ask, well, what is your gotra? What do we say? We say Achyuta Gotra. Achyuta Gotra means the family of the Supreme. Achyuta means the one who does not fall down to the material platform. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 14.3, Aham bija pradapita, I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. So Krishna says that he is the father of all living entities. That means all living entities are his children. Tasham Brahma Mahatyuni, he impregnates material nature with the living entities. Material nature is the mother. Right? Even on a preliminary theological understanding, God is the father of all living entities. This is known also in other religions. And where there's a father, there must also be a mother, right? No father can give birth to children if there is no mother. So what's the mother? The mother is material nature according to Bhagavad Gita, but also there are other mothers in our Vedic tradition. There's Mother Parvati, or Durga Devi, who's adored by many Hindus. And the original mother of all is, of course, Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is our eternal mother, and Krishna is our eternal father. And we are his eternal children, and therefore we all belong to God's family. Now there is one famous saying in India, Vasudaiva Kutumbakam. You have heard? It is. You have heard? Often it's quoted by HSS or BJP, VHP and other in Hindu organizations. Vasudaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. So it means since we are all God's children, we all belong to one family. The whole world is one family. And that is not only the human society, Tasham Brahma Mahatyuni Aham Bija Prada. That is all living entities. That includes the animals and all the plants. So it's all God's family. So when we come to anybody who asks us about our Gotra, we say Achyuta Gotra. And in India they will mostly agree. Well, these are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Stiyo Vaishyas Tata Sutra, Tepi Yanti Param Gatim. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9:32 that even if somebody comes from Sutra background or Vaishya background or other background, except for Brahman and Kshatriya, if they shall take shelter of him, then they can reach the supreme destination and they can reach perfection. And that is especially the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, therefore, amongst devotees, there should be these loving exchanges like they are in a family. So, this verse of Nectar of Instructions still belongs to the first category, verses 1 through 7, which deal with sadhana bhakti. So in the beginning, when we start Krishna consciousness, we must learn this, how to deal with other devotees, how to properly deal with devotees. Often beginners in Krishna consciousness don't like to talk to others because they're so traumatized from what they experienced. When one turns to Krishna consciousness, especially in Western society, it is because one has had one key experience, one type of experience that showed him, this material world, material nature is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It's actually a place of miseries. Krishna says that Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. This world is Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. It has two basic qualities. It's Dukkalayam. It's Alayam means a place. Bhogalayam means restaurant. Means a place where you can get food. Or we say Himalaya. That is a place where there's a lot of snow, place of snow. So Krishna says, Dukkalayam says it's a place of suffering. It's a place, you go to a house, say there's a Gruselkabinett, a place where you suffer, horror cabinet. Actually, in Hamburg we have the Hamburg dungeon. Has anybody ever been to Hamburg? Hamburg dungeon is a place, a horror place. You go in there and there are actors dressed up like demons and they frighten you, and it's a place where you really get very afraid, and they really terrify you. So this material world is such a place, and actually there are people who like it that way. They like this constant terror and the stress, and if they get through it, they call themselves heroes. This is because of mode of passion. But a sane person, he will at one time wake up and say, well, is it really necessary to go through all this suffering? I really do not want to suffer. It's not my nature, it's not anybody's nature to suffer, but still we have to suffer, at least birth, old age, disease, and death. Nobody is spared these four types of suffering. So some people will wake up and think, well, is it really necessary to go through this? Maybe there's a possibility to avoid these things. And Krishna says, Aham tvang sarva papebhyo muksharishyami ma suchaha. Krishna says, I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So Krishna promises that we turn to him, we will become free from suffering, at least. We will become free from suffering. So this many times is the mentality of the sadhana bhakta, Vaidhi sadhana bhakta. He comes because he experienced there's some suffering, there's some key experience he has, showed him the suffering of this world. There are also other reasons why somebody could come to Krishna consciousness. He could just be curious, jigyasu, curious. He could just be into what is it? I take part in the Erasmus program to just see what are the Krishnas doing. He could go to other places also, but some of these youths who are here, they come as part of the Erasmus program. They come to the Krishna temple to see what it is about, jigyasu, curious. And then there's the one who is in search for wealth. This we find especially in third world countries. I was in South America, in Colombia for a year, and many devotees came just because they didn't have a roof above the head and didn't have regular food. So they came to the temple, and there they got prasadam 3 times a day, and they got a roof over the head. So that also happens. So we were saying 4 types. One is he is suffering because he feels the suffering of material world. Then somebody is looking for a better condition in life. Praise to God, please improve my life. Then another one, he is jigyasu, he's curious. And then there is the jnani, the one who is looking for real knowledge. And that you can find here in Krishna consciousness. And amongst the 4, Krishna says in the next verse, the jnani, the one who's looking for real knowledge, he's most dear to him. And for such a person, it will also be easiest to make spiritual advancement. So it's not only that our key experience must be that we are suffering. We could also be looking for knowledge, real knowledge. There's such an old culture. We have the same instructions in Bhagavad Gita, which is over 5,000 years old, and in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is also over 5,000 years old. as here in the Nectar of Instruction, which is just a bit over 500 years old. So somebody could be interested, well, what is it, and want to dive into this deep knowledge. And in the beginning, it is quite possible that we are still a little bit shy, because we don't know much yet. We don't want to reveal our hearts because we are traumatized, and we rather keep quiet and listen. So this is a possible attitude. But as we make little advancement in Krishna consciousness, we should also communicate with other devotees and reveal our hearts and discuss the philosophy. So any more questions about this? We have 5 more minutes left. Yes, who is? Ladies first. No, we just had a lady, so is there somebody else? Yes, Björn, you have a question.
Yeah, my question is that these 6 processes are mentioned, but what about you can do it mechanically or from the heart? And what's the difference how you do it from the heart, because it's mechanically.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada explains that amongst devotees these things are done. We give each other prasadam, so that is, we know each other, that is. But also, it is a policy of the Krishna consciousness movement to distribute prasadam. So, in many temples we have the Sunday feast, or anywhere large quantities of prasadams are distributed. So do we love all these guests? It's a problem of quantity. How many people can you love? There is a saying, about 150 people one can be friends with, I think. Ordinary person, he can be friends with up to 150 people. But if it's more, if you're people you don't know, normally you wouldn't love them, except you have a transcendental vision and know they are spirit soul and also part of God and also children of God. From that perspective, little more advanced perspective, we devotees have love for all living entities. They love Krishna. Krishna is the father of all living entities. And Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, all living entities are in Krishna's family. So then can have this love. And Srila Prabhupada explains that through distributing prasadam and through giving gifts in form of books especially, our book distribution, that is the Dadati principle, as explained by Srila Rupa Goswami. We give gifts, and people accept the books. Then this may be a little formal. I was on book distribution myself for 7 years, if anybody doesn't know. The mind of a book distributor can be trained in such a way that he really has an appreciation for the people he's talking to. Without appreciation, and some type of love, appreciation at least, you can't really give books. And then if he accepts it, the books is all the better. Of course, if he says, no, I don't want, then this loving exchange doesn't come about. It just doesn't manifest. Or if, say, we give somebody, we offer him prasadam, sometimes the people, no, I don't eat this. What can we say? There is no connection. Connection doesn't come about. Or you give them a gift. You want to talk to them about Krishna consciousness. I just had it with my wife. We were sitting in the train. We sat together with an older couple, about our age. And they somehow or other they asked what was I doing. Yeah, we were going to the ISKCON temple to have a national council meeting and a festival. And then the lady said, yeah, you believe in reincarnation? True? You're Hindus, you believe in reincarnation? Yeah, then I explained some very basic about reincarnation. Then after a few minutes, the husband said, please stop talking about this. Don't want to hear about this. Had to change the subject. So we changed, we weren't impolite, we went to another seat actually, then came back, then they had forgotten, then we were friends. But if And also Prabhupada explains here that it is actually not conducive if one tells a person about these intimate spiritual things who is not interested. That's even one of the offenses in chanting the holy name, to explain the glories of the holy name to the unfaithful. So that must be avoided. So we must know how to get around. You just can't behave the same with each and every person. But if one is a little advanced on the medium platform at least, medium devotee, not a beginner, but on the middle platform, then he'll have an intuition, he have a empathic intelligence. We had a seminar. He can judge. He is sensitive. He will not talk about everybody about confidential knowledge. Yes. Okay. More questions? Yeah, okay. Then now is Gaura Aarti is coming up. Thank you for attending the Nectar of Instruction class this evening. Hare Krishna. There will be another one tomorrow. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.